Hi, we're here at the S.U.R.G.E International Film Festival with Rio Collier. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your film.
This piece, it's called Armed with Art, A New Revolution is Necessary. It's in Spanish with English subtitles, and it was filmed in Mexico. And this piece was basically the first documentary or major film project that I attempted to undertake, and it was really spontaneous. I was like, I'm gonna make a documentary right now. So I just bought a camera and some equipment and started filming interviews, and happened to have a really good opportunity to be around a lot of amazing people. And then that became part of some of the work in the second stage of the film, the editing and the putting the whole story together was done within the workings of a media collective, which I was involved in. So
cool. So did you go to Mexico with a narrative or an idea of what it's going to be about?
No, actually, it was interesting because I was in Mexico for an entirely different reason. I was curating a series of exhibitions of radical political art. So that in itself gave me the opportunity to be around a lot of artists who were embedded within different social movements, and I found myself in the midst of really dynamic, engaging conversation, and people showing me their studios and telling me all about their history as an artist, and within all these different political situations that had happened in Mexico. And it was just so fascinating that I wanted to capture it. Mm-hmm. So it was all very spontaneous, and the places in which I interviewed people and the footage that I got was part of what I saw as this bigger vision that all fit together. So there was some crafting together afterwards to try to put together, okay, what is it that I was even trying to say? Or
right.
Not what I was trying to say, what was I trying to capture from what I was seeing and what people were saying to me?
Right, what organic story came from
all
the talk.
The really funny part was that at the time I was really rusty on my Spanish. So I had a lot of help from different people, and a lot of times it was just me with a video camera and interviewing people in Spanish and just knowing when the tape was rolling that they were saying things that were really profound, and I was going to be able to translate it more directly later. So
wow, that's so cool. So did you ever feel would you go out with an idea in mind of what you were going to get, or was it all
from that day?
Yeah. Did you
sometimes, yeah. I had I set up kind of interviews ahead of time. I would meet people based on, there was different collaborative exhibitions that, I said, I was helping to curate, and so I knew the different people that I was around, and I would ask them, can you show me your studio, and can I, I would have a set list of interview questions of things that I wanted to ask, and different events and things that were happening. I intended to go there to film, but sometimes I just had my camera with me, and there would be one of the opening scenes, or one of the in the beginning of the film, there's a scene of this art action that happened in front of Bellas Artes, which is right in downtown in front of this giant fine arts museum.
Right.
And I just happened to be there. I was going there to interview somebody, and while I was waiting, there happened to be this huge art action against bullfighting.
Oh wow, and, cool.
So
cool. It does seem from the little bit of the film that I did see, it seems it does seem that the art is mixed with political messages. Do you think that that's something that just comes organically in a place like Mexico or Mexico City, or was it something that you sort of brought with you because you're passionate about politics? And so those are the people that you were around and you were looking for?
Those are specifically the people that I was looking for. I had a criteria of my own, an intention with filming, one of which was that I wanted to use the conversations through art as a vehicle to address both a more overarching philosophical idea or lens of what the role of art is within social movements and within finding a voice for people, and also more of a direct, like, what are these very specific, like, political crises that have happened in Mexico. But I wanted that to be told through the voice of artists, and not talking to academics, not talking to, you know, politicians, not talking to, you know, more institutional voices.
Right.
So a lot of the questions that I was asking them were specifically questions about, you know, like the socioeconomic history of Mexico, about different political crises that have happened, but valuing their judgment, or not their judgment, valuing their voice as an artist and how they approach those situations and try to participate in the conversations around those.
Cool. That's very cool. I have one more question that's kind of a personal curiosity. When you went there, did you feel any sort of like, with certain people, like a stigma because you are in fact American and you're not Mexican, and they're sort of seen by us as like second-class citizens? When you went there, did you feel like you were treated any differently because of being an American?
I think, I mean, partially because of the networks in which I was embedded in myself before taking on the film project. There was a certain amount of confidence and trust within the people that I was working with. Cool. I wasn't coming there with like a film crew and a budget and like all of these things. It was like, I am also an activist. I am an organizer, and I'm in the movement for social justice, and I want to do this project, and I want to like try to give a voice to the things you're doing. And so people saw value in that and were willing to work with me. There were different times in which I wanted to film things where there was more, I guess, conversations that were happening with people that were in the periphery that weren't necessarily comfortable with the things that were being discussed being filmed.
Right.
Because in places particularly, you know, like in Oaxaca, there is still a lot of political repression that's happening. There's people being imprisoned for, you know, unjust causes solely to take them out of the movement. There's disappearances, things of this sort. So there is an amount of caution about certain people not wanting to be filmed saying certain things, and that was the only bit of like kind of touchy, but mostly the artists themselves were very willing to talk.
That's so cool. That's awesome. Okay, so thank you for being here and talking to me.
Thank you.
I'm going to present you this award. It's the Fifth Annual International S.U.R.G.E Film Festival Honoree Award for being in part of the whole festival. So
I'm
here you
glad
go.
that I have the opportunity. Thanks.